Peace, guys. It's been a while. It's your boy 6 Cents. I did something fucking crazy. I finally bit the bullet and I transitioned my beat making process to iOS. Let's talk about it. So before we go any deeper, if you like the content and want to see more of it going forward, do me a favor, like and subscribe. It goes a long way towards keeping these things going. So I'm an Ableton Live user and I love it. I'm an Ableton instructor and will always use it at some point in my workflow, at the very least for the foreseeable future. But I've been having a lot of fun in the past couple of weeks making beats in Beatmaker, making beats in Chord Gadget, and all of the really cool iPad and iOS apps that are available. Things like Koala Sampler and all of the synths that you get to play with nowadays for a few bucks are really fun, really intuitive. So I kind of forced myself, especially with having a busy work schedule, to do more production on the iPad and see if I could get the same kind of output that I did on Ableton. And it surprised me. I actually got out a lot more beats than I typically would on a day-to-day basis if I was using Ableton Live. And looking back at it, it makes a lot of sense. Like, previously, if I was inspired to do something, I'd have to go into the home studio that I'm lucky enough to have here and load up Ableton and then get busy. And that's fine, but if I'm not here, I can't create, right? Lately, having the iPad available to pull out of a book bag, I'm getting a lot more pieces together quickly. And especially getting comfortable with Beatmaker 3. I gotta say, I'm making beats that are dirtier, that are way more sample oriented, and way more like my kind of shit in a lot quicker time than I was with Ableton. I feel like iOS has that really cool balance of limitations in terms of what the DAWs can do, but really full feature sets in terms of like the plugins you get access to, the samplers you get access to. So you get that nice balance of being able to just do enough to get your rough ideas out and then go forward. So all that being said, I was working on an older iPad for most of this time, an iPad 5th generation. And it was cool, but you know, it was starting to show its life. So I switched over with the Black Friday hysteria, got a 256 gig iPad Air. And I could have gone with the Pro. I put a lot of thought into going between the Air, which is kind of the most powerful model before you get into the Pro territory. And the reason I went against the Pro really came down to overall use and how I use my iPad. The Pro doesn't have a headphone jack, and I really like being able to just pull an iPad out, throw in some headphones, and get to work. Bluetooth headphones aren't there yet. To me, I need the convenience of being able to just plug in headphones and get started on something. So if I have to pull out a hub or third-party dongles, it just kind of kills the whole workflow. In terms of the processor specs, they're so negligibly close. They both have A12 processor chips. And I gotta say, I feel like I'm driving a Tesla every time I pull this shit up. The screen's an upgrade, it looks great, it feels great, it's lightweight, and I'm pushing apps to their absolute limit without it hiccuping. So I'm really happy with the purchase. Now conversely, that leaves me with an iPad that's still pretty good, my older model. And it's cool because my wife has been getting way more back into songwriting, and we've always been collaborating a bit here and there, but now I can give her that iPad and give her things like sheet music, give her GarageBand, give her AUM, and she can start to get those ideas down and airdrop them back and forth. So I'm really looking forward to getting more content out with her involved, because now we both have an environment that's easy enough to play in and collaborate in that I can then take stuff and really flesh out ideas with. One thing I will say, as cool as it is to transition to a new platform, and as scary as it is to transition to a new platform, it reminded me of the importance of file management. And in my next video, we're gonna talk all about that process. You would think it's really tricky to get all of your samples into a new DAW like Beatmaker 3, but this was actually the easiest import process I've had. And the main reason is because I've set up my samples and my sample library in a certain way that's future-proof. So I thought it would be really cool to talk about that now, especially for newer producers who are just starting to put together their own sample collections. If you get on top of this early in your career, it'll be really helpful as you transition to different DAWs and as you start to get into different publishing situations. So let's talk about it. Once again, if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. Glad to be back. Now that I have a really cool way to edit video quickly using LumaFusion, I'm really excited to get you guys content a lot quicker and a lot more frequently. Till next time, peace.